So, as you feel ready, we will close the eyes if they are not already. And we will bring the attention inwards, find a comfortable space where we're either seated or lying down. And we'll find ourselves simply relaxing into our body, relaxing into our seat bones or relaxing into our back if we're lying down. It's as if you're infinitely sinking into your body for these initial few moments here. Naturally observing any tension being held in any area of the body, sometimes in the shoulders or in the jaw or in the forehead, in the torso, or even in the hips. All of that, we're just relaxing into a natural release. And we may become aware of the movements of sensation passing through the senses of our ears, our eyes, our nose, sensation of touch and the skin. Just naturally being aware of all of these arisings and fallings of sensation that are coming and going. These sensations may be inclusive of thought in the mind, the movements of thoughts that are coming and going that you may feel. Sometimes we feel the weight of thoughts, and this is because thoughts do have an actual mass. It's very small in comparison to most physical things, but there is a physical mass to thought. And so when we feel the weight in the head or in the mind and the brain, it's because we're feeling the weight of all of these thoughts that are unprocessed or constantly going consciously or unconsciously. And so, rested in the silence of the self, we are just simply observing the movements of thought without any attachment or need to understand them or go into them at all. They can all just be exactly what they are, exactly as they're appearing. Good, bad, and ugly, it's all welcomed. It's all just simply being observed. Now, this is revealed in the same way with the magnetic charge of emotion or feeling that's generally felt in the torso. There may be some lingering anxiety or stress or grief or fear, any of these energies. There also is excitement and joy and gratitude and varying energies here, and we're just observing them all in the same way. We're not differentiating them in any other way than what's practical. Sometimes it's practical to label emotions, to see them as for what they are. Though there isn't a judgment that's coming with it, some judgment of good and bad, or something you want or don't want or would like to have or not have in this present moment. All is welcomed exactly as it is. And we're also dissolving the natural tendencies to try and push away maybe unpleasant emotions and run towards more pleasant emotions. We're resting right in the middle, right in the eye of the storm. Whatever's present can be exactly as it is right here in this moment. Now, as we've sunken more deeply into this place of simply observing, this observation at times reveals the subtle energies that move in and around our body, also a part of our anatomy, just as our hands and our chest and our legs are. Our anatomy is inclusive of this energetic reality and these subtle sensations that we can perceive as we deepen into ourselves. And we're going to tune our attention to a very subtle pale silver energy, like a cylinder encapsulating our whole body, almost like an aura, but it's more of like a cylinder tube that runs from below our feet to above our head. And we can breathe into that however we'd like to breathe, just a few times to expand into that energy and feel that pulsing throughout our whole body, almost like filaments, like little crystals or particles of pale silver energy moving through our entire body up and down. And as we become aware of that, we may slowly come into a natural form of in and out breathing through the nose, where we're slowly inhaling through the nose, about 5 to 8 seconds on the inhale. And then as we exhale, coming out through the nose, 5 to 8 seconds on the exhale. And keeping this rhythm, whether you want it quite long or a bit shorter, whatever feels most comfortable, making sure that the exhale is either equal or longer than the inhale. Then you may begin to feel the physical sensations of the breath expanding the lungs and coming into the torso. Maybe you feel that energy and the sensations start to move in through the head and down through the arms and through the body. Though if we're simultaneously still connected to the awareness of this pale silver energy through the body, you may feel called to be breathing these filaments of energy up through the whole body and down through the body on the inhale and the exhale. Whatever you feel most naturally called to, what's most important is we're focused on this very subtle, slow, and gentle inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And we'll continue with this for a few minutes here, staying focused on this breath. And as this breath continues and deepens, we start to be able to feel more and more the subtleties of the energetic levels of our being. And expanding this breath beyond just the lungs or wherever the energy may be focalized, but seeing it continue to expand into every crevice of the body, down into the tips of the toes, down through the arms, through the top of the head, all the way throughout the spine. And simply feel everything becoming more and more energized, feeling this healing energy naturally come over you, covering your entire anatomy. Now, as we've connected to the depth of our anatomy and our energetic being through the connection of this breath, we're continuing with this breath, but we may continue to expand into the cellular level of our body, where as we are aware of the body and this natural rhythm of the breath that's continuing, we're simultaneously aware of the billions and trillions and infinite amount of cells that make up this body. Sometimes visuals may arise where you feel like a zooming in, but it's more of a feeling to deepen into the subtle layers, subtle dimensions of yourself. And as we continue with the breath, through every inhale, it's as if all of these cells are opening up and receiving this energy, receiving this breath, and breathing on their own. And as the fill-up of that energy, the energy of the breath is in a sense cleansing out the cells, and on the exhale, the cells are releasing. It's no longer necessary, and just releasing that natural exhale that comes through. So it's as if you're seeing and feeling your entire body breathing through the layers of the skin, through the layers into each and every cell, where the breath is not just coming in through the nasal passageway, but it's moving in throughout the entirety of your body. And we can also even imagine that as we breathe, we're breathing in this pale silver, almost like a crystal-like or a diamond-like filament of energy, like a bunch of little pale silver diamonds or crystals that shimmer with rainbow-colored light. And as we breathe that in, we're breathing in these diamonds or this pale silver crystal into every cell. And you may find various visuals, sometimes colors, or you may even be able to see these crystals or this pale silver energy. And even if you can't, this is all fine, just resting in that intention and feeling what it feels like to breathe throughout the entire body and feel that energizing and also purifying sensation and feeling. Continuing with that breath flow of the natural inhale 5 to 8 seconds and natural exhale 5 to 8 seconds. Though this is also the time that the breath may have already completed, or you may feel like it has taken on a life of its own, where you can feel the movements of these energies and the purification of these almost crystal diamond like forms moving through every cell. Though you may still feel called to continue consciously moving the breath, which is welcomed. And naturally, we may all come to this place where we feel complete with moving the breath consciously and feel like we want to just simply relax into that natural presence of being. As we've connected with every cell, we've connected to the essence in which makes up every cell, the source in which makes up every cell, which is both completely empty, like a particle of nothing within every cell. But this nothingness or this emptiness is also filled with a clear sense of knowing, a clear sense of presence or being or energy, something we may not be able to even grasp or comprehend. But yet we know that there's still existence here, there's still a presence, a sense of being and awareness. There is something that is resting here. And as we connect to the core of any particular cell, we connect to the core, the essence, the source of our cells. And this is what we can just simply surrender into within this space of silence. as we come to this natural resting point within oneself, there may be from this silence a natural blooming of a certain joyfulness or a fullness within the heart, whereas everything is cleared away when the mind is quiet and when the emotions have settled. The true essence of self, this loving, compassionate, joyful self, this inner contentment can bloom like a flower and become revealed to you in somewhat subtle or sometimes quite obvious ways. And the more we focus upon the simple appreciation and gratitude for this true nature in which is ourselves, it continues to bloom, and we may feel the expansiveness of this love, this compassion, this peace, this joy within oneself. Feeling it radiating like a sun from the center of the chest that begins to radiate in every direction, 360 degrees. And this sun-like presence in which radiates in every direction, you'll feel this expanding through the skin, almost as if it's going beyond the skin, beyond the body, encapsulating you in an egg-like shape, almost like an aura or a field of energy around you that anyone or anything you come in contact with can feel its radiance and can feel its beauty and its love and its compassion, its peace, its joy. And in truth, this presence, this direct experience of oneself in this state of love, this space of contentment and peace and joy, is infinite in every direction. There is no limit or there's no edge to where this stops. And so we can see that all circumstances, all people, places, and things and situations that we come across in our day-to-day experience are simply extensions to this energy. And so we can begin to see everything and everyone as ourselves and treat them as if they were ourselves. Feeling this sense of love, compassion, peace, and joy for everyone and everything in which we come across. So we may continue to bask in this energy for as long as we like. You may continue to keep the eyes closed and just simply rest within this for as long as we each can. And though there also is a beauty in the practice of slowly and gently opening the eyes from this vantage point, where we keep the body still, and we continue to rest and bask in this sun-like presence in which expands its energy in every direction. You can feel the rested nature of this silent presence. And yet at the same time, our eyes are opened and we're engaged within this physical life and this physical experience. And for these initial few moments, just keeping the body completely still, just gently glancing forward. And once again, we may continue to rest here for as long as we like, or even close the eyes again if we would like to do so. And for those that feel complete in this moment, then this is where natural movements of the body or just engagement within your physical life and your senses can continue. Though we can see here that this practice ignites a certain perception that there's no beginning and end to our meditation, that the experience and direct knowing of meditation can continue and is always present, is always continuing. The question lies whether we're aware of this or not, whether we have brought our attention to this or not. And so for those that feel complete here, then we will conclude this session. If you do feel called to share in the comments your experience here, if there's any specific questions on this can be an extremely powerful meditation. And I did mention this on my Instagram recently, that if someone were to do this style of meditation every day for 30 days, your entire life experience could change quite drastically, as I'm sure many of you are experiencing just from doing, these different sessions each day, every week. But this meditation in particular has come to me in this time, specific for these times, and the transition point that we're headed into with solstice on the 21st. And while I don't usually get caught up on dates at any point, and we shouldn't get caught up in any dates, there is certain kind of movements of energy that intensify things at certain times of the year. And so as we head into 2021, this kind of next little while will be that. And it is every year with Christmas time and things. It does have some very, important energetic significance. And so it's just important that we're staying mindful and staying focused in these times and doing our practice and doing the variety of practices that may support us, whether that's through our nutrition or through our time with loved ones or creative endeavors or just being in nature. It's always of importance, but I would just reiterate, the focus upon that at this time.